Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Kevin with survivalistboards.com, and today we are starting on the rabbit coop or rabbit hutch. We've got two tables set up and they just happen to be in front of the barbecue pit. It's kind of ironic, huh? So these are the two rabbits my wife and I got a couple of weeks ago. One of them is my daughter's and one of them is my wife. They're Californian whites. One of them's a male, one of them's a female. But we're going to try to get them, they're not sexually mature yet, so we're going to get them separated before they start breeding. They're brother and sister. So we're going with two coops or two hutches, 8 foot long, well 4 foot, 2 by 4 by 8, pressure treated. We're going to build it so it's 3 foot wide, and each one is going to have 4 foot, so it's going to be 3 by 4. Now later on, after my wife and I get moved up to the farm, up to the homestead, we're going to build some hutches for the bucks that are going to be 3 by 3. The 3 by 4 are going to be for the does. So let's get started. Now before we start cutting our braces to go across there, something I want to talk about is that we're going to overlap. We're going to put a board, a brace right here, then the wire is going to come down and wrap right there and then go up. And so we're going to lose a little bit right there because of that wrapping of the wire. So that the 36-inch wide wire fits, we're going to add a little bit. Instead of making it 36 inches from outside to outside, we're going to make it 37. That way that 36-inch wire can sit right there, half an inch back. And we have where that other wire, that vertical wire, can roll around. And right here it'll be double wrapped. So no predator can go in between. If that wire just came down and stopped right there, a predator could push up underneath that wire. If the wire went on the outside, then the rabbit could chew. But anyway, and the braces are going to be on the outside. We've got our first board laid out. This is 34 inches from there to there. 1/8 for the cut. Then another 34 inches. That gives us a remnant or a leftover of 28 inches tall. So that's how, instead of letting this board go to waste, we'll take this board, turn it up, and that will give the rabbit 28 inches, really about 2 foot from here, from where he's at, to stand up at. We're going to see how that works out. Decided to go with 2 foot centers between the end, 2 foot centers of the supports instead of 16-inch centers. Just don't think the rabbits are going to be that heavy. Started putting the support braces in there. We're using 3.5-inch long screws. Going there that far because whenever we move it, we don't want it pulling apart. So what we've got here is my wife and I have decided, we've got the board clamped up here, decided to go 2 foot from here and build the door 2 foot wide. So that's 24 1/8 inches from the edge of this to here. That gives you 1/8 inch to play with. We're using 2 by 2 treated material, so it'd be 24 inches by 24 inches tall, 24 inches, 24 inches. Just make a nice square door, and that way we could be able to reach up in there and get that rabbit if we needed to. Instead of building 4 doors like I had originally planned, we're just going to do it 2 doors. So we're going to put an upright here, an upright here, screw it in, and then that wire is going to come down and wrap around here. And the other wire is going to lay right on top of it. So what we've done is we've taken the hutch, laid it on its side, and now we've nailed the wire on, except for right there, and that's where that other wire, the bottom wire, is going to lay right on top of that, and then we'll nail both of them together. This one here, we're going to cut this wire off right there, and it's going to be sandwiched in between there. We're going to slide that back just a little bit. We're going to run with the wire cutters right down through there, cut that excess wire off, put it right there, put a C-clamp on it, and put some screws through it. Same thing down here. And then this right here will be the door. And now we've got the wire down. We've got it cut, say a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch past this board. Excuse me. Got some congestion. With all this pollen in the air. Got them tight. Now we're going to use some long screws to go through here, through there, and through here. We're going to stand it back up, then put on the other side, then we'll be ready to put on the bottom. These are 2.5 inch long screws, so I can countersink them a little bit, and they won't stick out the other side. Oh. Something that we found is that whenever we were doing this and we turned it over, see if I get up there without showing my truck license plate number. We got some slack in here. My wife's going, we're going to use some little trim to pull that slack down. But okay, so whenever we did the other side, what we're doing is we're using a 2x4, pulling the slack up, and then securing the board here, putting some staples in here, like there, and then moving to the next one. So we're pulling the slack up, securing the wire, securing the boards, and then moving to the next section. See, this is where I screwed up. This is one of the parts I screwed up on. See, I wanted that wire on the bottom to come all the way out to here. And I miscounted. It didn't work out as the way I expected. But you see how those two wires there are overlapping? With this one here, it's overlapping just a little bit. This is the back side, so I can put this up against a shed. And the long-term goal here is to have this inside the chicken coop with this side up against the wall.
Rabbit coop.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have this inside the chicken coop.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Have this inside the chicken coop they're probably gonna have one inside the chicken coop and one outside the chicken coop on opposing walls. One like underneath the lean-to, and then one inside the chicken coop. But anyway, that's way down the road from now. See, I need to nail that down a little bit better. And we got to get the partition set up here to keep the two rabbits separated. But everything's going okay. This is how we're doing our end. We've got a little bit of slack right there that needs to be worked out. What we'll do is we'll bring it forward and kind of cut it, or I may pull a couple of staples out from this inside, work that slack out. Got it C-clamped up there to hold it in place. I like my C-clamps. So, is that the rabbits, now this is going to be on the inside, unprotected by wire. So, if the rabbits start standing up and chewing on that, I'll put a piece of flashing material around that to stop them. So then over here in the middle, we're going to put a divider. We're going to start on that end, do that. We're going to come over and put a divider up. And then this board here on the very end. Then we'll start working on our doors. Some of y'all may be asking, is like, okay, now that you've got all the sides done in, we've got all the stuff, all the wire stapled in, is exactly how are you going to get in there and work on it? Well, just turn it on its side. It's not that heavy. My wife and I just turned it on the side. It's easily, I mean, it's pretty easy to move in this state. Just turn it on its side, and now we're going to be able to get in here and put the divider in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some treated 2x2s, lay some wire down, put a 2x2 down there, one up here on top, one down here on the bottom, then just fold the wire in and staple it all up, and that'll be our divider. I want it secure enough, like let's say something like a raccoon or something, or possum or something gets in here on this side. I want it secure enough where it can't break through this wall and get to the other rabbit. Here's our divider. We got these 2x2 treated in there, and I drilled a 1/8 pilot hole using 2.5 inch long screws, 4 in the bottom, 3 on each upright. And here is the wire. Now we're just going to bend that wire around like that, staple it to the bottom, staple it to the sides. Same thing over here, down there, and it's going to come right up to there. Here's the dividing wall between the two sections. Is that this is treated 2x2s, and it was rather hard to drive a staple in. We've been using staple gun and galvanized 3/4 staples that we're driving in by hand. So what we did was we took some washers off of some roofing screws and used them to hold the wire in place. Wrapped it around, did the same thing up here, then used a staple gun, secured it all the way down. Now we've got two, and then we treated 2x4, put a couple of angle screws in there, 2.5 inch long screws, so that's good and stable. Now we've got the two sections that are secured from each other. Here's the legs, using 3.5 inch long screws, 2 in here, and then one from the other side. Yeah, so there's at least three 3.5 inch long screws in each leg. Same thing up there, there's one there, and then there are 2 there. High enough off the ground, raccoon or possum can't get up underneath there and reach up, and I think it's 43.5 inches is what we put it off the ground.